In the fourth and last part of our wiring guide series, I want to talk about wiring different solenoids for different things that are controlled by PWM usually, and switches, for example, for map switching or for launch control. First of all, I have a few solenoids here that all work with PWM. There are others that you can use. For example, there are for water meth injection, that would also be a PWM signal, and yeah, that's something that is basically switched on and off multiple times a second and is used with the ECU or controlled by the ECU, and those are wired really easily. First of all, you need a low side output from the ECU. Low side means it switches ground, so the ground side of the solenoid is what is being switched. Basically, any of those solenoids you wire to 12 volts, so you can just go, put those wires all together and go to battery 12 volts or whatever, or ignition 12 volts would be better, because ignition 12 volts in the case, for example, for the idle valve is a lot better, because having the idle valve active before the ECU is powered can lead to problems with backfeeding 12 volts into the ECU through the ground pin, which is really not good. Other than that, those need to be wired to 12 volts and usually, as I said, on the ignition switch, so that these wires are only active once ignition is actually turned on, because before that you obviously don't need that. And you should also wire them into one of the relays you have used, so that they actually don't pull their power from the ignition switch but over a relay, so that the ignition switch, which is only able to handle I think about 10 to 15 amps, and it's so that not all the current is just flowing through that switch. If you have wired that, the other side, so ground, in most cases, for example for a boost solenoid or also sometimes idle valves, the polarity doesn't matter. For idle valves maybe does, but for boost solenoids, for example, it does not matter. And you can just wire this to the dedicated input of the ECU. So as I said, any low side output will work for this, even for example a spare injector output, because they do basically the same thing as a low side output. You can in the ECU, in for example in RUSEFI. It's not the case, or not so easily the case, in Speedoino, but in RUSEFI you can select the output you're using, so you can actually use any output that is a low side output, not a high side output like the coils, for example. So for example for VVT, we could use just the suggested VVT output, so that's pretty easy. But for boost solenoid and idle valve, while there are no pre-labeled outputs, yes, you can change the outputs in software, so you can basically use any of these, like for example in this case B17 low side output, which is not used, or we could even use the B16 low side output, which would be used for example for the fuel pump, or you could use for the fuel pump or something, as it is suggested here. If you have the fuel pump wired a different way, for example with a switch or with the ignition switch, which would be so that the fuel pump turns on with the ignition, though some countries don't allow that, so that's not always the case. And then we have here VVT2, usually a 4-cylinder. Often an older one does not have 2 VVT solenoids. The newer ones do have, for example, if they have VVT on the intake and exhaust cam. But if you don't, you can also wire anything that is PWM controlled right here, for example, the idle valve or boost solenoid. And that's pretty much how to wire any solenoid that uses PWM. And so that is really pretty easy. In general, this is pretty easy. So we're just gonna look at the launch switch now, or you could also use a table switch for that. So for example, if you want to run multiple boost levels, then you can also use this. Another way to run multiple boost levels would be using a switch in between the boost solenoid and the ground pin of the ECU, so you switch that on or off, and then you could switch between using the boost solenoid actually or using wastegate pressure. And that switch would basically intercept that, and only if the circuit is closed, so the ground is connected to the boost solenoid to the ECU, then it would actually use the boost solenoid, otherwise it would stay closed. And then we have the launch switch. As I said, this would be, or in the other case, the map switch, this would be just wired to a button input. This is important. This needs to be a button input, because a button input only is digital, so it can do on or off. If you, for example, have a rotating wheel, like for example with multiple maps on them, with like, I don't know, 3 or 4 positions or even more, you can wire that to analog, but it might be difficult to get that set up if it's not in the software already. For example, on ECU Master ECUs, that is available in software, and you can then, for example, choose which voltage is which setting basically. So the ECU knows at what voltage it is seeing on that button or on that rotary switch is for which map. In our case, a launch switch just goes to a button input, and the other side just goes straight to ground. And once you switch that to ground, this circuit is closed and the ECU knows the button is pressed or the switch is pressed or whatever, and it will enable launch control. Launch control can obviously also be used with different things like speed. If you are using a VSS input, so a vehicle speed sensor input, this would also be possible, so you don't need a launch switch. But in my opinion, a launch switch is always a little bit better to use, because you can choose yourself when to use launch control and when not. So that's basically it for this guide. I think I covered everything that is really relevant. While there might be some more specific topics like CAN bus wiring, that's something else, and that's like something more complicated and I don't really or cannot get into, because I have never tried that out really 100%, because I have not had a ECU with a proper CAN bus functionality. But I may explore that in the future, but that's going to be not for this series, because this series is pretty much over now. And if you want to know anything else, like if you have questions or want to know something else about wiring, just let me know and I will try and help as best I can. Otherwise, that's it for this series. As I said, see you in the next video, and as always, have a nice day and goodbye.